My comprehensive assessment plan focuses on improving the writing of our ninth grade students. So, last year, the English department at Mount Ararat High School determined that we would make improving the writing of our ninth grade students a curricular focus for this year. The overall goal is to ensure that most students are writing at grade level by the end of ninth grade so that they have a strong base to build on as they enter grades 10 through 12 and are required to do more complex research based writing. This assessment plan would be implemented with all ninth grade English classes to help assess student writing, set specific department wide goals around writing instruction, inform instruction and track student progress throughout the year, and measure student growth at the end of the year. Implementing the plan will primarily involve the 3 teachers of ninth grade English and the school literacy specialist. At the beginning of the year, assessments will be used to determine where students are starting from with regard to writing and what skills they most need to work on. Based on these start of year assessments, we will work as a group to set specific department wide writing goals for all ninth grade English classes. These goals will be centered around the skills students need to gain in order to be writing at grade level by June. Having common goals throughout the department will help promote consistency in instruction and expectations. Throughout the year, common formative assessments will be used to measure student progress towards these goals and to guide instructional decisions within each class. Although teachers will be working towards the same general goals, specific instructional decisions will be made by teachers based on what skills a given class needs to work on, as measured by formative assessments. At the end of the year, summative assessments will be conducted to measure student growth and determine whether the ninth grade department-wide goals have been met. The Exact Path assessment is mandated by our district for all students in grades K through 10. For the purposes of this plan, Exact Path will be used to determine starting grade levels for student understanding of conventions, sentence and paragraph structure, organization of writing, and other writing and language skills. Teachers will analyze student results to determine which skills are generally strong across the grade and which skills many students need to work on. This information will be used to help set department goals for student improvement. This information will also be used to create writing intervention groups of students who need additional support on particular skills, either because they are starting at a particularly low level or because they are struggling with a skill that most students have mastered. These students will work with the literacy specialist on these skills. The Exact Path Language Arts Assessment will also be administered at the end of the year to measure student growth. Students will also start the year with an initial writing assessment to assess their writing skills as of the beginning of ninth grade. Because the ninth grade writing curriculum at MTA focuses on argument writing, the assessment prompt will be to write an argument piece. This will let us see both the general skill level of student writing and their skills with argument writing specifically. After grading some of the writing as a group to ensure that we are all interpreting the scoring rubric the same way, each teacher will grade the assessments from their own classes, and we will then meet to discuss the assessment results and use them along with the Exact Path ones to develop specific instructional goals for the year, centered around the main goal of having most students writing at grade level by the end of the year. Throughout the year, all ninth grade teachers will have students complete weekly writing samples. The exact nature of these samples and the prompts will be dictated by the department-wide goals in order to continue student progress towards them. These samples will help provide rich data for assessment. These weekly samples will let teachers track student progress and gather data on what aspects of writing teachers need further instruction on. Towards the end of the year, students will choose 3 of their weekly writing samples to take through the revision process. Working through this will help students learn how to work as authors and give them a chance to show what they've learned about writing since completing the initial writing assessment. Students will also complete a reflection in which they discuss why they chose those pieces and describe their revision process. This will help teachers measure student understanding of their writing instruction and if they are able to articulate how their new learning affected their writing. Finally, the portfolio will also include a final on-demand assessment, structured similarly to the initial writing assessment, so that teachers can directly compare two similar assessments to measure student growth. Reviewing student portfolios will let teachers see if their students can apply the skills they've learned over the course of the year and collect data around if students have improved their writing over the initial writing assessment. This will be used to measure if we have met the department goals for 9th grade, to help guide writing instruction in 10th grade, and to inform how we might adjust the 9th grade writing curriculum. In determining the effectiveness of this plan at the end of the year, we will look at exact path results, comparing beginning of year and end of year results to see if students have achieved grade level, or at least shown a year's worth of growth or more from the beginning of the year. Similarly, we will compare the results of the initial writing assessments with the results of the end of year on-demand writing assessments. Finally, the weekly writing samples will give us a chance to consider if student writing has shown growth across the year by comparing samples from the same students at different points in the year. Analyzing the results of all these assessments will help us to determine which aspects of instruction were effective and which still need to be improved, and give us information that will help us plan curriculum and instruction for the final year. And here you can see my references.